I know this is going to sound like massive clickbait to some people, but I'm actually serious. I think there is like one underlying thing you can do in your life that influences all the other things. Because I spend a lot of time thinking about life. Let's just call it self-improvement. I like to think about how you become more productive, how you quit bad habits, how you become happier, successful, etc. And I came to like one big conclusion. No matter what aspect of your life you're looking at, whether it be trying to quit bad habits, trying to learn new good habits, becoming more productive, learning to enjoy the little things in life, trying to become less grumpy, trying to become happier, more positive, trying to become more disciplined, etc. Literally everything. It all boils down to one thing. One single thing. The amount of control you have over your own mind. Now here's the thing. Meditation is literally training you to become more in control of your own mind. It's like going to the gym is making you physically stronger. Meditating is making you mentally stronger. And becoming mentally stronger is the very thing you need to become better at, like, literally all of these things I just mentioned. You become better at being present in the current moment, which allows you to focus on what you're doing. Be more productive instead of constantly having your mind wandering off to other things, without constantly wanting to do other things like browsing social media or playing a video game. You become more in control of your urges. You know, normally you might get an urge to binge eat and you actually do it. You end up eating the junk food. Or you get an urge to fap to porn and you actually end up doing it. You relapse. Or even if you don't actually do it, you still feel horrible about it, right? The urge is still controlling you. You still go about your day where you're like, I feel horrible because I have this uncontrollable hunger or this uncontrollable urge. But when your mind is stronger, you become more stoic about it. Yes, you still have the hunger. Yes, you still have the urge. But you just look at the urge and you're like, yeah, so what? You know, it's an urge, it's a feeling. Guess I'm gonna feel a little bit hungry today. Guess I'm gonna feel a little bit horny today. And you go about your day. You know, you don't let that feeling bother you that much. You become in control of the feeling instead of having the feeling control you. It becomes easier to step outside of your comfort bubble and to do the hard work, even when you don't feel like it. Or to gather a pair of balls and actually approach that girl that you have a crush on. How good you are at doing all of these things is directly dependent at how much you are in control of your own mind. And meditation trains you to become more in control of your own mind. It's like the underlying basis you need for success. And I'm not trying to say that everyone who is a billionaire necessarily spends 2 hours a day meditating, but what I am trying to say is that if you are someone who struggles with certain things, like bringing up discipline, being in control of your own feelings, stepping outside of your comfort zone, if this is something that you are often struggling with, then meditation is definitely going to help you to become better at this. If you want to become physically stronger, you go to the gym. If you want to become mentally stronger, you meditate. Now, it is important to know that this is not a quick fix. This is not a miracle cure. Just like with going to the gym. If you go to the gym once, you don't instantly look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Even if you go to the gym a week or a month or several months, you don't see that many results. This is a very long-term oriented thing. I see a lot of people that try meditating for like 10 minutes a day for 1 or 2 weeks, and then they're like, yeah, not much happened, and then they quit and they never see any real results. And that's a shame. Because with pretty much all good things in life, you need to realize that there is no shortcut. There is no quick fix. You need to put in the hard work and you need to be long-term oriented. You need to slowly build your body over time. You need to slowly build your mind over time. But when you do, when you actually stick to it, then meditation can really help you to become more in control of your own brain. And becoming more in control over your own brain gives you the potential, this is important, it's potential, it's not a guarantee, and you still need to put in the hard work, but it gives you the potential to make a huge change in your life on like all the aspects of productivity, success, and happiness, and like literally everything. There is the potential to make a huge change. So I guess that this brings us to the part where some of you guys are wondering, okay, so how do we start? How do we start meditating? Now that's a little complex. I mean, there's so many different types of meditation. There's so much you can say about it. And I think one of the most important things to know is that anything works really, because there's different reasons to meditate, right? But from the perspective of becoming more in control of your own brain, all of them work. Because no matter what type of meditation you choose, all of them sort of train you to become more in control of yourself. So you can really just pick any random form of meditation, just Google or YouTube, search meditation, and just start doing something, right? And literally everything will probably help you. But I do think there are like a couple of key points when it comes to meditation. I don't claim to be an expert, but from what I know about meditation, I think here are some basic concepts that you need to understand. The first one, without a doubt, is the controlling of your own thoughts. I see pretty much everyone who starts meditating making the same mistake. They think that you are not allowed to think about stuff. You think, well, a meditation is this thing where you're supposed to not have any thoughts. And so when you get a thought, you start to freak out and think, oh shit, I'm having a thought. I need to get the thought out of my head. That is wrong. That is not how you meditate. The thing about a meditation is not that you try to get rid of the thought, but it's more as if you try to like observe the thought. It's almost as if you become like a separate person and you start to observe your own thoughts, right? Does that make any sense? If you've ever tried meditations, sometimes in a meditation, like a guided meditation, they tell you to focus on things, right? They tell you to close your eyes and they tell you to focus on the sounds. And they say there is no such thing as a good sound or a bad sound. So whether it is like a comforting bird noise on the background or someone coughing or a car honking its horn, doesn't matter. The car honking its horn is not a bad thing. There's just sounds. There's no good, there's no bad. Just observe the sounds. And that is essentially what you also should do with your thoughts. There is no such thing as a good or a bad thought. You're just observing your thoughts and just listening to them. And the funny thing is that when you look at it like this, the thought actually goes away. Because when you think that the thought is a bad thing and you start to freak out, then the thought starts to linger around, right? The thought starts to pester you, and then you start to think about the fact that you think, and then everything gets worse. But for some reason, when you observe your own thought and you just tell yourself, hey, look at that, I'm having this thought, it's as if the thought feels acknowledged and the thought just fades away. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but it actually works. If you get rid of the judgment, the thought goes away as well. So that's the first thing. Don't try to get rid of the thoughts, but try to observe the thoughts. The next point, I guess, is that you need to realize that anything can be a meditation. And meditation isn't just this thing where you need to close your eyes and go like hum. You can do that if you want to. That could be a good meditation, but it doesn't have to be that way. The thing you need to realize about meditation is that it's not about what you do, but it is about how you do it. And then when I say how you do it, I mean like the mindset you have towards that thing. Mindfulness is the perfect example. A mindfulness meditation is this thing where you are very mindful of the thing you're doing. Now, a standard mindfulness meditation might be something like where you close your eyes and then someone tells you, hey, now focus on your feet, and now focus on your ankles, and now focus on your calves and then your knees. And now the thing is, there's nothing special about your knees that you're focusing on, right? There's nothing special about your feet. But the thing that makes it special, the thing that makes it work, is the fact that you are focusing on something. And in this case, it happens to be your knees, but it can be anything. It can be going on a walk. It can be looking at a wall, like literally looking at a wall. It can be listening to a song. It can be doing the dishes. As long as you are present in the current moment and not having your thoughts run off to the past or the future or other distracting things, but you are actually present in the current moment and focusing on doing dishes, you are very consciously thinking, I'm now picking up the cup. I'm now moving the brush through the cup. You are essentially doing a meditation. It's not about the thing you do, but it is about the mindset you have towards that thing. You need to be present in the moment. And when you try to be present in the moment, like doing the dishes or whatever, keep in mind the first tip that I just said. Don't try to get rid of the thoughts, but observe your thoughts. So whenever you're doing the dishes, don't freak out whenever you're thinking about something else, but just stoically think, observe your own thoughts and be like, hey, I'm having some other thoughts. Let the thought flow, acknowledge it, let it flow away, and focus back on the dishes. Then the last point that I think is very important as well, at least this is something that I really notice in myself, is that you need to let go of time. Because whenever you are meditating with the idea in mind of, okay, I'm now meditating for 10 minutes, right? I need to do this for 10 minutes and then I'm done and then I feel better. It doesn't work, because then you are sort of doing it with as a means to an end. You're sort of looking for something, and whenever you're not looking for something, you are working towards something. And whenever you are working towards something, that goes directly against the very concept of a meditation. The whole point of the meditation is to be mindful in the moment, as if that moment is literally the only thing that exists, right? As if that is everything you will ever have. That's the whole point. And so whenever you are meditating for like 10 minutes and you are thinking about, okay, I need to meditate 5 more minutes, that sort of takes you out of that whole meditation mindset. So try to let go of time, which is easy when you're doing the dishes because it doesn't matter. You can just do the dishes, not worry about how long it takes, and whenever you're done, right? Just don't think about time. Now, I understand that when you're actually doing a meditation for like 10 minutes, that it's harder to do so because you need the time. Or you don't need to, you could just meditate as long as you feel like it, but sometimes you would want to like set a timer. In that case, set a timer, set an alarm, and don't worry about the alarm until you hear the alarm. Just get lost in your own little meditation, pretend like time doesn't exist, and when you hear your alarm, then you're like, okay, now I'm done. I think one of the best ways to start, if you've never meditated before and if you really struggle to like focus, and observe your own thoughts and all of that stuff, you will get better at it, don't worry. You will get better at it as you practice and you start to learn more stuff. But I think one of the best ways to start is by using music. I like to use, spiritual music. I'm not sure if I should call it spiritual music, but like, for example, an Indian mantra, or for example, a Christian Templar chant, Viking war music, shamanic drums, stuff like that, right? Whatever you like. But I like that kind of music because it really is the type of music that really puts you into like a certain meditative trance, right? So take one of these songs, just start somewhere, pick one of them, and try to listen to it. Try to do what I just explained, let go of time, focus on the song as if the song is the only thing that exists in the world. Observe your thoughts. If you're having a thought, just acknowledge it, let it flow away, focus back on the song. I think that is one of the best, I'm not sure if it's one of the best, but one of the easiest ways to practice just doing one thing without being distracted. Music. Because if it's hard doing it yourself, then let something guide you. Take a song, listen to a mindfulness meditation, and really after that, you can do anything. Because when you understand these basic concepts of meditation that I just explained, a whole world opens to you, right? You can Google, you can YouTube, you can look up any type of meditation you want, experiment a little bit, see what you like to do, and just start doing something, because again, really, from the perspective of becoming more in control of your own mind, pretty much every type of meditation works. I'd recommend you start doing it at least every day, like 5 minutes or 10 minutes a day to start off with. You could go longer if you want after that. But to be honest, you need to make sure that you actually want to do it. Right? It needs to be something that it doesn't feel forced. It shouldn't feel like, oh, it's time for my 10-minute meditation because Rob told me so. Because when that's your mindset, it's going to be very hard to have that meditation mindset where you actually get lost in the moment and be present. So yeah, ideally you do it every day, but to be honest, just start doing it as often as you want to do it. Start somewhere, start liking it, and then start doing it more often. As a summary, guys, don't expect any miracle cures. This is going to take time. But if you put in the hard work, Well, it's not actually that hard. Meditating is actually fun when you're used to it, but do it long term, and when you do, this gives you the potential to make a massive change in your life. But you still need to do the hard work though, because even if you become more in control of your mind, you don't suddenly magically start building a business and whatever. You still need to actually do it. So yeah, I guess you guys get the point.